Check 1, 2.
Well, hello there, boyfriend. How are you this fine day?
I'm really good.
Is it working?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's not touch shit.
I'm afraid to ask, but I have a great question.
I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm so disturbed right now.
It's afraid to ask. Welcome to the program.
Well, you have an extra excited smile on your face.
I do, because we're just looking up. We kind of already guessed, but what is the average length of time that a man has sex?
No. That was not what we said. Not the average amount of time. The ideal amount of time that sex lasts is what we asked.
But wouldn't the guy be involved in that?
Not average time, ideal time. What do people want?
Okay.
Not what do people get?
Okay.
So I don't know what you searched. I want to know what people want.
What do they want?
Well, I said 15 minutes and you said 20.
What did you find out? Because I found out some stats.
I didn't search.
The ideal, it varies a lot from person to person,
Sure.
as you can imagine. But the consensus is 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes. And then I went further and further, which also made me feel kind of good, you know?
Now you have information on the typical
Well, if 10 minutes...
duration?
Yeah.
No, the
I don't know if
ideal versus typical. Did you find that out?
I don't know if this is too personal to share with you.
Well, I'm just curious. What if people want 10 minutes and they only get 2? What's the average time people
That's
last?
a problem. Yeah, it's 5 to 10 minutes is the average people last. And ideal is more like 10. Can I tell you something that might be too personal to share with you?
What?
Sometimes when I was married, sometimes I wouldn't orgasm for years. That's how long it would take.
I legitimately didn't know what you were going to say. I was preparing myself for like a sexual story.
No, we didn't have sex. I slept in the guest room.
Yay, guest room. That makes me feel better.
Did you sleep in a guest room?
I slept everywhere but my bed.
Do you know when I was married, there were so many red flags? I treated red flags like I was an Olympic downhill skier. Do you know they just bang, bang, just going past them?
Oh.
I feel like sleeping in a guest room has to be very high up there with red flags, indications that things aren't going that good.
Yep.
Especially if you couple that with another man's in the bedroom with that person and you're in the guest room. These are two very bright red flags.
Okay.
So I was reading a lot about something that I don't even want to talk about.
What else did you read about? About sex?
Yeah. I
Duration?
learned about these poor gentlemen who have this premature ejaculation, which I've heard that a million times. I never knew what I mean, obviously I know what premature means, but it says how early. I would think it would be like, oh, it's a little bit early. Guess what it classifies it as medically in this one journal when they want to treat them. Guess how fast premature is?
Within 30 seconds.
1 minute. You're very close. Did you ever have?
So was he.
Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had that happen where a guy...
Do you really want to know about my sexual experiences?
Just that, when a guy's not doing good. Did you ever have a 30-seconder?
Yes.
Really? Oh, so sad.
He was on steroids.
All right. So, how is that related? He was muscular?
Well, steroids often mess with your testosterone production.
That's what he told you, huh?
And often you'll have very small testicles, smaller genitalia, decreased hormonal production, depending on the strength, frequency, and also duration of how much you've been taking these steroids, for example.
Did you know, I'm not a doctor, but did you know it's very common for men with small genitals and that don't last long in bed, it's very common for them to pretend they're on steroids?
Do you know the medication of choice to treat premature ejaculation?
You watch The View in the background? Look at those ladies on The View.
Well, actually, you're not wrong. Cognitive behavioral therapy for premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction in general can
because
help.
I got shit to do.
Yeah, well, that. So there is a lot of mental work that can go into prolonging your sexual experience.
I put in a lot of mental work in my day.
No, a very low dose anxiolytic, a medication used to treat anxiety, paroxetine, Paxil.
That makes sense.
As a side effect, a lot of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, so antidepressants, are commonly what they're called. Like their biggest side effect is decreasing libido or causing it to be difficult for people to orgasm.
Gotcha.
Well, obviously, if you struggle with orgasming early or
not
premature,
a bad thing.
Exactly. So low dose, it can help men with premature erectile and ejaculatory concerns.
Do you remember? I remember when I was in college.
Oh, God.
You were
not born yet.
Okay. When I was in college, I remember the study came out. It just reminds me of what you just said. And they go, Mountain Dew can cause sterility and it can make it so you have no sperm count. And I was like, oh my God. And I just drank a bunch of Mountain Dew.
No.
Like it was the opposite of what we want. Like that was for people that probably want to have kids.
Was that a study that was actually justified and backed by evidence, or was this just a claim that was made?
I read this
commercial
in the Journal of Rumors.
Oh God.
I actually think it might have been a rumor. Shit.
I feel like Mountain Dew could kill you and cause lots of problems.
I heard it lowers your sperm count, which is better because people that drink a lot of Mountain Dew should not be having children. Honestly.
But what would be the tie?
The tie?
Like the tie between Mountain Dew.
Oh, the connection?
Yes. Caffeine.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it because your sperm are just like, your sperm are like fucking jacked up and they're like, oh, yeah.
So that's opposite
of pass the egg right by.
So one of the things that we'll actually encourage is a small amount of caffeine prior to attempting to conceive.
Really?
Because it potentially can cause faster motility of sperm.
But maybe too much is bad. Maybe the Mountain Dew, it's a little too much. You're a little too jacked up.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, as far as affecting sterility, the things that I know are like very constrictive clothing, a lot of heat to the testicular region because it can kill off sperm. Those are the things that I'm aware of.
I feel a lot of heat in mine when you're around.
What?
A lot of heat in that region.
Gross.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So 5 to 10 minutes. I think I found out the average length of
How
sex.
long would you want sex to last for?
I think 20 minutes is...
20 minutes. You want to double up the average person's ideal time. You want 20 minutes of fun. Do you really? If we timed it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I want to say more, but I don't think anyone would want to hear me say what I'm going to say.
I feel like you'd be
20,
like...
You ready? You
in pain. Like, let's just go already.
Here's the difference.
What?
I feel like 20 minutes means everyone had a good time. Can I just say that? Meaning... that part of it, I'd be okay with five minutes or less. I'm just saying the whole event, like we have to discuss the whole event. I put my outfit on, right? I got to put on the mask. That takes a while. There's a zipper in the back. I want the whole thing to take.
Why is it that male sexual outfits in general are deemed cheesy and women's are attractive? I'm just imagining you in a Halloween costume.
Let me tell you why. You want the answer? Let me tell you the answer. When you go into a sex shop, there's going to be a lot of female, like these beautiful things with whips. There's going to be these tight little... And then you go to the guy section and they go, there's like, what, a couple pairs of underwear?
An elephant trunk.
Yeah. I go, what is this? And it's because... I just realized my point makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
Shit.
Because you guys don't care what we wear.
I was going into it like I got a great point.
It's the opposite.
But you guys don't get shit.
You would think women would have a ton of outfits to choose from for a man to make him more attractive. All we have, seriously, are like elephant trunks to stick your penis in.
What are you talking about?
Like it's a thong that looks like an elephant's face, like a mask, and your penis goes in the snout. Yeah, it's like the bachelorette presents. Like... the penis straws.
So it's a joke. You're saying it's not a legit.
It's a real product that you could put. If you want me to buy you one, maybe I can find like an anteater for your wiener.
I went on Shark Tank with my similar product called the Woodpecker.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we get though. You get like these like dominatrix, leathery, awesome outfit. I mean, they have some for men, but there's so much more for women. And men in general don't really care what we wear. They just want to have sex. You'd think they would have...
wrong. So incorrect.
Yeah. Give me a whole wall to choose from stuff to put you in.
Honestly, you're absolutely right. A guy wouldn't care if the woman wore a garbage bag with a couple of holes in it in the right spots.
Gross. That's degrading.
I'm saying guys. I didn't say I don't feel that way.
That's gross and degrading.
Well,
Gross. And degrading. Don't finish that thought. No one cares.
Sometimes facts are Some guys are like that. There's some shitty guys out there, Erika.
Oh, thank you for enlightening me on that new topic.
All right. Well,
20 minutes. That's a long time. I feel like you'd be starting to get sore. I feel like you might get bored. Okay, what about this? 20 minutes. What if you could have both of you have an orgasm at the exact same time, amazing same time. Sex, and it's 1 minute long?
Okay, yeah,
versus
of course.
20 minutes long.
Yes.
Is it though?
I don't like this edging thing or this like let's tantalize and wait.
I get that, but also some of it's the excitement of it. Like, do you want to just like be in and out like in 60 seconds?
Is she charging by the hour? No. I think is a very important question.
That's okay. That's fair.
1 minute is too short. I'm gonna change my answer to 15. I was counting 20 all in. You do some stuff.
I said
to
15.
Her. She does some stuff. The actual sex, I don't care how long it is. All right, that's pretty good. I was going to tell you a story. Not a good segue though.
Oh.
To the story.
Okay.
I was going to ask you. A guy really did 30 seconds. That's amazing. Somebody told me a story where they...
Why is that amazing? Why are you delighting in that?
I just think it's really funny. I heard one guy say on a podcast recently that it was his first time he was going to have sex with a girl, and they like planned it out. It was his girlfriend. And as they weren't even naked yet, and he did it in his pants before they started.
Yeah, I've seen that on like shows and stuff. I guess that's a real thing.
This is in real life.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Premature.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing you have to worry about is unsolicited pregnancy based on that. Well, a lot of people will do a pull-out method, but with premature ejaculation, you don't pull out in time because you're not anticipating it.
Oh, so these are two different kinds of premature, though. I think like in the pants, obviously, no one's getting pregnant.
No.
You're saying like it's a little bit sooner than the guy.
Like say you have sex and you pull out beforehand, but you unexpectedly orgasm much sooner than you anticipate.
I always pull out my wallet beforehand. Yeah. No, you're right, because if something gets out there. That's true. You got to be careful. Kids are expensive. I know someone that has a baby from one night stand.
Yeah, me too. I think most people know that.
Stand. That's got to be difficult. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Many reasons. But the girl in my situation ended up meeting a guy, and now the guy's like the dad. It's all good.
Well, sure. I mean, nobody wants that situation. You make the best of it. But yeah, you have to be very careful. Some people can have some ejaculation, continue to have sex for a while, and then ejaculate fully. So you wrap it up.
Not familiar with that.
Just wrap it up. Hey, we talked about penis piercings yesterday. That was interesting to me.
Yeah. And
Would you ever do it? Would you do a Jacob's ladder?
I feel like the penis piercing is so risky unless something is terrible down there for you right now.
What's the other one called?
Why would you mess? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like a British thing.
Jacob's ladder. What is that?
Like a King George or
what is a Jacob's ladder? Describe a Jacob's ladder.
Multiple barbells, like rungs of a ladder.
That's funny. It's like
Prince Albert.
What?
That's what it is.
So the Jacob's ladder is like the ninja course.
It's
like the thing.
I would feel like it if it was someone.
Have you ever run into a penis piercing?
No,
yeah.
Thankfully.
I asked that question knowing the answer.
Yeah, well, I am not one that's in favor, mostly because of all the things that can go wrong medically.
Sure.
That's just me. I just feel like the first person who ever was like, let's do a piercing. Why would you have confidence that it wouldn't kill all the nerves and you'd never have sensation down there again? Like, what a daredevil.
Can't imagine. Which kind of brings us to an interesting topic, because you could probably mess with your nipples. People get nipples. I would imagine
it would numb your nipples, though.
Desensitization that could occur.
Oftentimes when we will counsel patients on risks, benefits, and side effects of breast augmentation, for example, a boob job.
Sure.
One of the biggest things is
Thank you for dumbing it down for me.
Sure. Well, one of the biggest risks is you can have severe partial or full loss of sensation in your nipple, your areola region. And if that is a sexual stimulus for a woman, I have actually had a plastic surgeon tell her, I won't do it for you.
Wow. Makes sense. Other side effects include people looking at your tits all the time.
Why did you say it so creepy?
I don't know.
Do you know that there's certain things that you do that make me like very turned off?
I do. Most of the things I do.
Correct.
I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Because we're kind of on the topic of I think regrets and risks. And I think a tattoo, this is like tattoos and piercings. This is like your big, did you ever almost get a tattoo? Were you ever close to getting a tattoo that you didn't get and you would have regretted it? I have one, so I ask.
No, because we were taught, like I went to med school still when tattoos were very frowned upon. So we would actually have discussions of like, do not do anything to your body that would be visible to a patient professionally.
Right.
So you have to be very clean cut. And there were rules in a lot of our bylaws and our contracts that you could only have natural colored hair.
But not even before
makeup.
That? You never were like, oh, I wish I could get. Did you ever think if I wasn't in this, I would get this tattoo?
I definitely thought about it. I would have. I like sleeves.
Sleeves?
Yeah, not necessarily for me, but some of my favorite
sleeves
people to follow on like TikTok.
Every time you describe things you like, it's that one guy I get jealous of.
Oh no, this is she's an incredible.
Oh, it's a woman?
It's a lesbian tattoo artist.
Like this.
Who?
Keep it going.
Well, the reason I mentioned her sexuality is she was heterosexual, had a child, and posts about that, and then decided, no, this isn't for me. And
heterosexuality isn't it for me, or being a mom?
Heterosexuality. Completely changed her lifestyle, became a tattoo artist, looks completely different from like.
Wow.
And she's happy, and she talks about it in her posts about her struggle with mental health, and she has tattoos everywhere, and I love her. And
so you find tattoos attractive. You're just saying you don't.
Her name is Bree. She's on TikTok, and she's amazing, like gorgeous, amazing talent, and she talks about that. I think there was a huge stigma, so I didn't do tattoos on myself.
Does she regret, or she's good with what she has?
She's extremely confident now in her own skin. And I think that that's empowering when you can do it without having fear of repercussions from society. But if you think about it, even 10, 20 years ago, tattoos were huge taboo. Now people have them all the time. Our culture has shifted. You can have unnatural hair colors. You can have piercings a lot more places.
Sure.
And tattoos, even on your face and your neck, and people still get hired.
I had a friend of mine fired from Starbucks, not enough piercings.
Oh, stop it.
They go, get out of here. Why don't you come back when I can't see the rest of your face?
But it is true.
It is true.
I heard that all the time in my profession. You cannot do anything permanent that would not be mainstream acceptable for our profession. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I saw a Twitter thing. This is the reason I brought this up. I saw a Twitter thing, and it was a guy. Have you ever seen the full face tattoo? Where the guy has like a skeleton over his actual face, where it looks like the bones of a skeleton, and he was getting it removed because he came to his senses, and they were showing how painful and how expensive that face tattoo.
Like the pico lasers hurt, and you have to have multiple cycles.
Yes,
it fades it, but it's not gone. You have to,
And the tattoo was, he said it was like $500, and this was like $10,000.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, of course people change. I mean, people have cosmetic procedures all the time that they want to change. People have fillers that they want removed, like lip fillers, for example.
Can you remove that stuff? Oh, I have a good question for you.
Yeah, you can dissolve it. You have to inject something else in to break it up, and it will dissolve then.
Because tattoo, I think it's the permanent things people have to stop doing because you don't know what future you is going to like. If you're telling me there's like a filler or even like a Botox that sort of like goes away, or you can even get it corrected if the guy, that I feel like even a breast augmentation, you could get a breast reduction.
Well, you can get tattoo removal.
But it's not. But I feel like isn't a tattoo removal like this guy, after $10,000, he still has stuff all over his face. Like it's not like they were like, we did it.
But if you have breast implants placed and then you have them removed, you're still going to have scars.
That's a bad one? Still not good?
You're going to have scars. You're going to have loose skin.
Oh.
I mean, there's going to be... It's not... Plastic surgery, you have to realize, is an art. It's not an exact science. So it's never going to be ideal.
Face tattoos.
Symmetry. There's going to be variances. I don't know.
Face tattoo's bad. That's a commitment. I'm not saying bad, but I mean to get it removed. Like, that's a real decision you're making for future you.
Yeah, I think... To each their own, though. I actually really like seeing it being destigmatized, where you will see someone in a business suit having tattoos showing from their sleeves to their hands, up their neck, and they're extremely successful, high pay, high power position, and they look however they want to look, and they roll up their sleeves and there's tattoos.
I like a tattoo. I don't think people should get face tattoos. I'm going on a limb here.
I think it's empowering when you can own your own appearance without worrying about repercussions by societal standards that really are unfair.
Yeah, but more and more it doesn't matter. You can own your own business. You can work at Subway.
Well, I don't think that they're offensive. If they're like racially charged or religiously charged and oppressive and making political statements on your body where you have the potential to offend someone, that's very different. If it's a tattoo of something symbolic for you that's powerful, if it's funny. Gosh, I saw this one guy. He was cool. He's a bouncer. He had ice cream sandwiches and cheeseburgers and like, I don't know, Zelda, like just random stuff everywhere. He had happy tattoos. I think it's pretty cool.
You could be a bouncer and have tattoos. Sure.
What do you
mean no? Of course you can. That's a job where you could be a bouncer.
I'd like to see the president of the United States have tattoos. I like young presidents. I think they bring new ideas, and I think it would be fun.
I'm sorry, but we don't have one for you anytime soon.
Well, that's unfortunate.
We could have Vivek Ramaswamy.
Does he have tats?
No,
Why don't you text him? Why don't you ask him?
I was just saying because you like
Tell him I'll vote for him if he has tattoos.
Did I ever tell you I used to own a tattoo shop and we specialized in people that regret their tattoos? And so if you got a significant other tattoo and then you broke up with that person, we didn't remove the tattoo, but we were really good at writing "is a bitch" under it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and then that way everybody knows what's going on.
Do you remember that guy who was at your show this last weekend who showed you his tattoo?
No.
He said it was the worst tattoo ever. You were like, does anyone have a tattoo they don't like?
Oh, yeah, that was kind of funny.
And it was a ring?
Oh, yeah. I had two people that regretted tattoos. Okay, I remember the one you're talking about.
The one that had a wedding ring tattooed on his finger. And you were like, oh, when'd you get divorced? And he's like, I'm still married, but I'm trying. And you're like, just get a ring on every single finger to cover it up. Because what do you do?
I felt bad for him because that's a really bad one.
He was a nice guy. But that's a decent answer because that tattoo is completely reminiscent of someone. And then obviously, like, you can't take, like, I wouldn't want to see your wedding ring from your ex.
Guess what?
He can't remove that.
Guess what?
Sucks.
I almost got one.
Well, you didn't.
I did.
Gross.
I almost got a tattooed wedding ring because I have a messed up finger. That would have been awful. That would have been so shitty. I almost got a Marvin the Martian tattoo when I was in high school. Very close.
High school? How do you get a tattoo in high school?
I knew a guy. Maybe it was college.
Sketchy.
I didn't get it though. I would be regretting that. Are you kidding me? If I had a Marvin, what the fuck? The shit that we think is a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I also think it's interesting how 18 allows you to do almost everything. I still think it's interesting that you can do certain things at 14 or 15, certain things at 18, certain things at 21. And then what was it, renting a car like 25 or 26?
Yeah, that's always weird.
They all have weird numbers. Like we should just pick one and be done with it.
18.
But 18 though.
Military porn.
I don't think you should be able to be drafted at 18. I think they should be allowing people to mature more. Do you think of how immature?
So you think all should be
older?
Yeah.
Drinking age.
But what about driving? You don't want them to drive? I'm going with you're proposing one age. So we got to pick one. It's got to be for everything.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
21.
Well, that's
Maybe this
tough.
is what they went through on the way to their...
You're throwing a big wrench in there. You know why?
Huh.
Well, because if it's like parents who have tons of kids and they need to go to multiple activities in high school and stuff, it's nice to have a driver.
My son just started driving. He's getting his license. He's got his permit, and he promises it's going to be great. He says it's going to be great. Lots of rides.
I think if you can drink alcohol, you can vote. I think those should be the same ages.
Yeah, I think you need to be able to drink alcohol, be drunk to vote.
I think, no, if you can be drafted for the military, you should be able to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to, what's tobacco products? Is that 18?
Mm-hmm. Yep. In America. I don't know what anywhere else.
Renting a car should be the same. Driving is the only one. I think everything works at 18. 25.
Okay. Move to 25. Well, listen, we got to go. Next time on Afraid to Ask.
Getting a tattoo.
Boom. Coming up on the next episode of Afraid to Ask. You were about to go to sleep and all of a sudden you go, I think I'm dying. I think I'm going to stop breathing. And I was like, should we just see? Should we just try it? See if we wake up tomorrow? And then I go, I will stay awake and I will watch you to make sure you're breathing. And this is 100% accurate what happened next. I go, I'll stay awake. I'll put my hand on your chest and I'll wait. And you go, okay. And you go, okay, good night. I just held my breath and you didn't do anything. It was 15 seconds.
Well, I needed to make sure that you would be there for me, and it didn't feel like you were taking it seriously.
I go,
so I needed to test you.
Hold their breath for.
I had air hunger. I needed to breathe. I had to breathe again.
Do you know how David Blaine can hold his breath for it's like 9 minutes?
Well, we timed it.
That would come in handy.
I made it for 25 seconds or something, and you made it for like 22.
How much does that come in handy when you're in an Uber? Right? Hold your breath for 9 minutes.